5 on your side at 10 starts now.
Tonight, the latest details on a deadly helicopter crash over the Mississippi River.
It's just horrible that you go to work and you lose your life.
The new reaction we're hearing from the community, one of the victims called home.
Still steamy right now, and it stays that way into the weekend. We're tracking when rain might impact some of our weekend plans.
A manhunt for a St. Louis murder suspect ends hundreds of miles away from the scene.
And I stopped for him, let him go ahead, but never in my mind was it clicking. That's Mr. Brown's truck.
The man accused in his stepfather's death. Tonight, we have new details on that deadly helicopter crash. We have now learned the names of the two victims, Nick Fulton and Michael Curry. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson. 5 on your side's Andy Krall has been in Ashley, Illinois today, where Curry lived, hearing from people who are heartbroken for his family. Annie.
Kelly, Curry was a lineman who worked for JF Electric Incorporated. It's an Edwardsville-based electrical contracting company. When he wasn't repairing power lines, he was living on farmlands in Washington County. Not unlike many who tell me they didn't initially realize the crash near Alton had touched their small town.
A helicopter exploded midair on Thursday after making contact with power lines above the Mississippi River. 2 men were killed on board, 35-year-old Nick Fulton and 37-year-old Michael Curry.
It's just horrible that you go to work and you lose your life.
Eyewitnesses at the scene said Curry was working to replace damaged aviation warning markers at the time of the crash. They're the orange spheres that signal the location of the semi-visible power lines to aircrafts. According to officials, Curry lived in Ashley, Illinois.
People are friendly. It's a nice little town.
It's a city of about 450 people, many of whom visit the Lantern Pub family restaurant as one of the main spots in town.
Most people know everyone, but there's so many new faces.
A place for celebrations or just coming together, the owner Diane Lamar said.
I don't know how long he lived here, and he may be a face, and I may know what he eats, I may know what he drinks, but I didn't know his name.
Curry was a lineman and a member of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 702.
Oh, I just hate to hear anybody getting killed. And, you know, you go to work in the morning and your wife expects you home at night and you don't get to see your kids again. That's pretty sad.
Meanwhile, Fulton is listed as the vice president of Excel Helicopters LLC, the same company that owned the crashed helicopter. Fulton's father, Tim, is listed as the company's president. The company's website says, quote, Nick followed in his father's footsteps and began his aviation career with Excel Helicopters. Along with being a commercial rated pilot for the company, Nick also has managerial oversight in regards to many aspects of the company operations. That includes maintenance, billing, and being an FAA liaison.
A preliminary report with an update on the investigation is expected from the NTSB tonight or potentially tomorrow, though it will likely take months to get all the answers as to what went wrong in the air by that fatal barge.
And our team also spoke with aviation safety experts to understand what may have caused Thursday's crash. Gregory Fife, a former NTSB senior air safety investigator, says officials will be looking at several factors. Some include the training of both the pilot and linemen, company policies related to the situation, possible mechanical malfunctions, and if weather played a role. Fife says investigators will also look at radar data to understand more about the moments that led up to the crash.
You're only moving 3 or 4 feet. Your margins of safety are very limited. And again, if the aircraft moves up or down, left or right, and you didn't command it, but some environmental factor pushed the aircraft into the wires, there's just no way for a pilot to compensate for that once the strike has happened.
Tonight, the NTSB is asking anyone who may have witnessed the crash or shot cell phone video of the accident to send that video and a brief statement. They're asking you to send it to witness@ntsb.gov. As we continue to learn more about this deadly crash, you can find our most up-to-date coverage on KSDK.com and streaming on the free 5+ app. Tonight, investigators are revealing stunning details about the murder of a 73-year-old North St. Louis man. This comes hours after authorities in Minnesota arrested the victim's stepson for the crime. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend's in the newsroom with new developments, Robert.
Kelly, neighbors cannot believe they're now mourning a beloved friend. Equally shocking, they're shaking their heads because the murder suspect is the victim's own stepson. For years, lots of seniors have lived on 6 Hour Avenue near I-70 in North St. Louis. Neighbors say one man, 73-year-old Stephen Brown, always stood out.
Mr. Brown, him and his wife were very, 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 very sweet people.
One of the most genuine people I ever met.
Thursday afternoon, the peaceful home Brown shared with his wife suddenly became a crime scene. Officers went inside the house, saw a trail of blood, and reportedly found Brown dead in his living room.
It just kind of rocked really the whole neighborhood.
Neighbors are also stunned to hear on Friday authorities arrested one suspect, Brown's stepson, 46-year-old James Minor in Clay County, Minnesota. That's about 800 miles from St. Louis. Minor's mother reportedly told police her son stayed in their basement.
I saw the truck.
This neighbor says Minor almost hit her car when he sped away in his stepfather's truck.
Never in my mind was it clicking. That's Mr. Brown's truck. But then when I pulled up, like I said, 20 minutes later, here come all these police trucks.
The Clay County, Minnesota sheriff says Minor was attempting to change a flat tire on the side of a road when a motorist stopped to help him, but became suspicious. When deputies and police arrived and arrested Minor, they say he said, "You got me, I did it."
When they got on scene, they checked the registration of the vehicle, and they also checked Mr. Minor and learned that he was wanted out of St. Louis for homicide.
Back in this St. Louis neighborhood, they're missing Mr. Brown.
He was such a good guy. I know he got his wings.
Tonight, Minor is charged with second-degree murder and armed criminal action. He's still in a Minnesota jail awaiting extradition to St. Louis. Police haven't said anything about a motive for this crime.
Let's take a live look at Busch Stadium, where fans just cleared out for the night. A beautiful day and night to catch a ball game. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell standing by with what looks like a warm weekend in store, Scott.
Well, yes, I'm just chuckling at you, Kelly, because,
Why?
you know, when you say it's a perfect night for baseball, the heat index was 90 some odd degrees when that first pitch was thrown this
but
evening.
if people are going to the ball game, they know it's hot. They're in for the heat.
Right, it's the Cubs and the Cards. And as a bonus tonight on the way out, you get the full moon. And that is now rising over St. Louis, making its way up. And that's the sturgeon moon. It'll be actually at total 100% fullness here as we head to about 2:55 tomorrow morning. And skies are mostly clear across the area now. A few high thin clouds, that's about it. You may have your best option of seeing the Perseid meteor shower early tomorrow morning after midnight, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, because clouds may impact that option as we head towards Sunday morning, Monday morning, and Tuesday morning. Meteor shower actually peaks on Monday and Tuesday morning. Still in the 80s for many of us right now. A little cooler in some of the outlying areas where it's dropped back to around 80. But the big story is the heat and the humidity. And we're talking for tomorrow, temperatures in the mid-90s. We do think it's a reasonably bright day, decent amount of sunshine, but we're pushing the heat index values again tomorrow afternoon back above 100 degrees. So make sure you're staying hydrated. Try to spend time in air conditioning or the shade, and just don't overexert yourself tomorrow in this heat. We'll talk about a rain chance, especially for Sunday, and for just some of us in a few minutes, Kelly.
All right, Scott. Well, today is the last day to apply for unemployment benefits for those affected by the May 16th tornado. Applicants can get up to 30 weeks of disaster unemployment assistance. Now, you must be able to prove you are still unemployed as a result of the disaster and can no longer work because of physical damage or destruction to your workplace. You can find the website to apply right now on the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com. Today, FEMA announced one of its recovery centers from the May 16th tornado will close. The Sumner High School Center will open for the final time on Monday. The other two recovery centers at Union Tabernacle Church and the Urban League Entrepreneurship and Women's Business Center will remain open for now. And there is still time to apply for federal assistance. We can point you to the right resources. Just text the word FEMA to 314-425-5355 and we'll send a link with everything you need to know. New at 10 tonight, a group of protesters gathered in downtown St. Louis to speak out against the ongoing war in Gaza. The group held a pot-banging event at City Garden. Today's protest follows the announcement of Israel's plan to seize Gaza City, approved by Israel's Security Cabinet. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the takeover would ensure the security of Israel and the removal of Hamas. The decision has drawn backlash from international countries. President Trump says the decision is up to Israel. Tonight, we have an update in the recovery of a 13-year-old boy rescued from a ravine. The family of Dakota Trinkle Jr. announced today he was alert and was able to follow verbal commands. This comes a little more than a week after Dakota fell into a ravine near Goose Creek Lake. He was rescued 3 days later and had to be placed in a medically induced coma. Dakota's family says he is now set to start cognitive testing as his journey to a full recovery continues. Sights and sounds from tonight's Blues at the Arch. It's been 10 years since the free festival was launched by the Gateway Arch Foundation. Organizers say they wanted to make this year feel special.
Blues at the Arch is just that. It's an activation that brings the community out to tell St. Louis's story about the blues in our hometown national park. It's free to the community, it's fun, it supports, local businesses, so it's really important to our mission.
There are 2 more days of fun planned under the arch. The festival officially ends Sunday night. A tragic mistake no parent expects to make, especially in the summer months.
One of those things that most parents absolutely do not believe would happen to them until it does.
How to avoid the unthinkable, leaving your child behind in a hot car.
The heat indices surge into the triple digits again Saturday afternoon when the heat breaks a bit, and why much of the weekend is dry for many of us, but maybe not all of us.
We are now experiencing what are typically the hottest days of summer. August is statistically one of the most dangerous months when it comes to child hot car deaths. It's a commonly misunderstood tragedy, but why does this happen and how can you keep your family safe? Meteorologist Julie Martin explains.
It's every parent's worst nightmare.
One of those things that most parents absolutely do not believe would happen to them until it does.
Unknowingly leaving your young child behind.
It's happened to a nurse, an engineer, a principal, a teacher, a police officer, a firefighter. It even literally happened to a NASA rocket scientist.
Amber Rollins is with Kids in Car Safety, a national advocacy group that raises awareness about the dangers of hot cars. Rollins says so far this year, 18 children ranging from 3 months to 7 years old have died inside hot cars.
What happens is you've got a combination of factors in almost every single case. A sleep-deprived parent, which is, par for the course when we've got young children. You've got a child who's almost always in a rear-facing car seat. They fall asleep in the car and they're quiet. You can't see them because they're in a rear-facing car seat. And when you have a change in your normal routine, this can be a major risk factor.
Research shows this happens because of 2 competing memory systems in our brain, one that controls our prospective memory, or things that are going to happen, and the basal ganglia, one that operates off of habit.
When the basal ganglia takes over, that's when we're operating in what we commonly refer to as autopilot mode.
According to Kids in Car Safety, on average each year, 40 children die inside hot cars. 55% are unknowingly left. 25% get in on their own and can't get out. Most are under the age of 3. A car can heat up to deadly temperatures in a matter of minutes. For example, on a 95-degree day, it takes just 20 minutes to reach 130 degrees.
They don't have the reserve because they're smaller, and their organs can start to shut down even if they get just 104 degrees. And now that's not because of fever, that's because of heat exposure.
Kids in Car Safety says protecting your child can be as easy as putting a reminder in the back seat, such as an employee ID badge that you need right away. And always lock your car when you aren't driving so they can't climb in on their own. And if you see a child left inside a hot car,
break the window. And then, of course, call 911. You want to get the child into a cool place as quickly as possible, into the shade, take all their clothes off, spray them down with water, try to lower their temperature as quickly as possible.
I'm Julie Martin reporting.
Extreme heat, of course, is dangerous for any age group. That is why we have gathered a list of resources. Just text the word HEAT to 314-425-5355 and we'll send that link to your phone. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is back with the weather impact forecast as we all look forward to the weekend. And you were, ooh, that is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's our full
photo.
moon. Yeah, it's up close. This is an up close and personal view, if you will, of the full moon tonight that's overhead. Yes, there are a few high thin clouds, but it's not diminishing that moonlight. Paul shared this from Washington, Missouri. The only problem with tonight being the full moon, and really this is going to be a lot of moonlight into tomorrow night and into Sunday night. We're coming up on the Perseid meteor shower here, peaking Monday morning and Tuesday morning, and we think clouds are going to impact our ability to be able to see it. And because of that, you know, tomorrow morning may be a better time to do that, but you still have all of that moonlight. At any rate, the upper level high pressure system that's down here to our southwest, that is beginning to kind of retreat a little bit. That's going to let more disturbances subtly drive into the bi-state region. And with that, we'll have a chance for some showers and maybe some rumbles of thunder, particularly as we go into later on Sunday, towards Sunday afternoon. It's most likely going to happen, if it does, to the north of I-70. Right now, most of us are still in the metro around 80 degrees. Salem, Missouri's dropped to 77. Alton, 79. It's 75 over in Flora. But we still have heat indices across the region tonight. Just those high thin clouds, 87 at Lambert, feeling like 92. Your south to southeast breeze at 11 miles per hour. And yes, we hit 95 today. We'll at least be there, if not a degree or two warmer tomorrow in most spots. 70s for the overnight lows. We're not really cooling off. Mid-90s tomorrow. We have lowered Sunday and Monday just a skosh because we're anticipating extra cloud cover and perhaps a few showers and thunderstorms, but that extra cloud cover should keep us from being as hot as tomorrow. Triple digits for your heat index values tomorrow, near that on Sunday, but then we'll ease it back a little bit Monday and Tuesday because of the cloud cover. So your hour-by-hour forecast for tomorrow is a hot, steamy one for sure. Temperatures are in the mid-90s. Here's your futurecast. While we expect it to be pretty quiet and bright tomorrow, the showers and storms will be percolating up to our north, and in some cases, they'll go over the same areas. There'll be spots in Iowa, maybe far northern Missouri, northern Illinois, that end up with 3 to 5 inches or more of rain. For us, we get a boundary sometimes Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon drifting into the area. That gives us at least a chance for a shower or thunderstorm. It's not a guarantee. Best chances would be north of St. Louis. And same deal for Monday. We're looking at boundaries from thunderstorms to the north. We've talked about this a lot the last 3 or 4 weeks. July and August, our weather driven by those complexes of thunderstorms that develop to our north, and then we see where they go from there because essentially they create some of their own weather. Now, it looks like there is a more defined disturbance coming our way for Tuesday, which should give most of us a chance of at least scattered showers and thunderstorms. Main threat's going to be downpours and the cloud-to-ground lightning. Don't really see a big severe
Nothing big, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Scott. Here's Corey.
Well, the Cardinals had a bit of Yadier Molina magic tonight against the Cubs, and one St. Louis native, Illini football player, has a story to tell. Sports is on deck after the break. In his career, Yadier Molina had 243 hits against the Chicago Cubs. That's more than he had against any other opposing team. Yadi knows how to win in this rivalry, and the Cardinals hope to capture some of his Cubs-crushing aura tonight. The crowd was ready for this one. Yadi back in that number 4 uniform at Busch Stadium. More on him and why he was here second, but now it's time to play ball. Don't look now, but Jordan Walker's heating up. He smashes that one through the infield. Run scores. Cards up 1-0. Cards up 3-0 in the 6th. Here's Walker again. This time, he crushes one over the Cubs bullpen. Jordan's 4th of the season. He knew he got all of that one. 3 hits for Walker tonight. Later in the 6th, Pedro Pajes knocks one through. That's going to score a sliding Thomas Ajayci. 5-0 Cardinals. On the hill, Michael McGreevy gave the young ump you saw in the stands plenty of outs to call. McGreevy went 6 shutout innings, striking out 3 Cubs. The bullpen would do its job. Riley O'Brien going to finish things up in the 9th, and the Cardinals are now 1-0 with Yadier Molina in the dugout in 2025. They shut out the Cubs 5-0. How about Jordan Walker tonight, Ollie?
I am thrilled with the overall work and the conviction behind the work right now. I think it's different than it's ever been. The buy-in is different than ever. And you're seeing him just really just head down and stick to the process. We're getting results, and we need to continue to do exactly what we're doing, but it's pretty exciting. It is.
As I mentioned, a very special guest in the Cardinals dugout tonight. Yachty was back at Busch for the first time since Adam Wainwright's retirement ceremony a few years ago. Molina was already going to be in town, and Ali Marmol invited him to join him on the bench for 2 games. Here's Yachty pregame on what role he hopes to have this weekend.
I don't come here to try to make something different. I just trying to be here and help the young guys however I can, and that's it, man. I just trying to enjoy the game tonight too, try to beat the Cubs.
In just 3 weeks, Illinois football kicks off perhaps their most anticipated season in recent memory. The preseason coaches poll has the Illini 12th in the country. It has been a process to reach this point. This will be head coach Brett Bielema's 5th season in Champaign. Last year, he led the Illini to double-digit victories, something they hadn't done since 2001. It's a family feeling in Champaign, especially for St. Louis native lineman Melvin Priestley. One of the top tackles in the Big Ten, Priestley overcame tragedy growing up, losing his mom, dad, and grandma. His new family in Illinois has helped him persevere.
Every day, every time I wake up, you know, I just printed some in my locker, like my mama, my daddy, my granny, you know, just because I love them dearly and I lost them. It's family. When I came here, it just hit, it's different because I ain't never felt like a family or at home like I feel here, like with Coach B. You know, it's just different backgrounds, different environments. You just came here and I just feel like almost like he my pops, but he my coach, you know.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
City SC hosts Nashville tomorrow night at Energizer Park. There will be a local face in the opposing net. Nashville keeper Joe Willis is a Chaminade grad and has led Nashville to a 3rd-place spot in the Eastern Conference. There may be a mismatch in the point column on paper, but Willis knows City is still dangerous.
They're a team that's a very dangerous opponent. When you're in a position like that, you know, they don't have a lot to lose, and they have a lot of good players and a lot of players who are playing for their jobs and playing for their reputations.
Now, if the Cardinals beat the Cubs again tomorrow night, we might have to have a serious conversation about Yachty as a good luck charm.
I know. I was
staying
thinking
around
the
rest of
same thing. He needs to stick around.
I think we might need to make that happen.
Okay, thanks, Corey. Still to come, lots of things to do this weekend, including meeting City SC's newest team member tomorrow, and this soccer pup is already scoring hearts. Some fun activities happening tomorrow in St. Louis. Let's start with an event created with the whole family in mind. The St. Louis Science Center is hosting SciFest. It will showcase the fun side of science with hands-on experiments, live demonstrations, and much more. Families are invited to join in on the fun from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 tomorrow, and it's free. And tomorrow, St. Louis City SC's newest addition will make his debut. Today, the team welcomed its first ever team pet. His name is Petey. He's a 2-year-old English Labrador Retriever who loves playtime and nap time. Petey will join players in day-to-day activities to help relieve stress. He also makes appearances at community outreach events. He looks like he likes a lot of belly rubs, too.
Petey looks like he's just chilling out, even on the hottest day. He's just like, you know.
That's what we all need to do.
It's a good therapy dog, yeah.
Yes.
You know, he's telling us all, we just got to just take it easy.
Right.
Slow it down. That's what you should do tomorrow. It's going to be a hot one in St. Louis. 95 for the high. Mostly sunny. Heat index still around 100 or a little above tomorrow afternoon. You know, based on our bodies getting acclimated to the heat, this is something we can handle, especially since it's only for one more day. And then Sunday, it's slightly cooler, a few more clouds. North of I-70, you may end up with a shower or thunderstorm as we go into Sunday by mid-morning into the afternoon and evening. And Monday, the same deal. The better chances are north and west of St. Louis. But all of us will have that chance by Tuesday. And many of us need some water.
Oh, definitely. Is the next game, Cardinals game, is it a day or?
Tomorrow evening.
Tomorrow evening.
Like 6:15,
All right.
yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us at 10. We're always streaming on our free 5+ app. Be sure to start your day for the weekend edition of Today in St. Louis at 6 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.